Greetings and welcome to Elect Connect, a candidate forum brought to you by the Greater Bloomington Chamber of Commerce. I'm Mary Morgan, the Chamber's Director of Advocacy and Public Policy, and we're joined right now by Dave Rinehart. He is a Republican running for the State House of Representatives in District 60. Before we get started, I'd like to give a shout out to our Elect Connect sponsors. Without them, we would not be able to do this work. So we're very grateful to German American Bank, Bunger and Robertson, the City of Bloomington, Hoosier Energy, Indiana University, and Smithville. Once again, we're talking now with Dave Rinehart. He's running in the Republican Party primary as a candidate in the Indiana House of Representatives, District 60. Welcome, Dave.
Well, good morning, Mary.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us. We'd like to start out by just asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in running for this office.
Well, again, my name's Dave Rinehart. Lived in Martinsville since my freshman year in high school, and I must like it here. I just turned 69, so we just had our 50th high school reunion this past summer. So my wife, Penny, we've been married 47 plus years. We have 3 children. A couple grandkids. My wife said we've been shortchanged on the grandkids, but I think, well, it just might be 2, and that's about it. But anyway, we're very thankful for 2 fine young boys that are very close in age, just months apart. They're both 12 years old. Again, 3 children, a daughter in Chicago, 1 in LA, and my son lives here in Martinsville with his family. Well, my working career over the years, yeah, boy, when I was young, I delivered the newspapers, mowed grass, and all that sort of stuff. Started my working career at Frisch's Big Boy in Martinsville, and went on and graduated from high school, and boy, continued to work at Frisch's afterwards. I became a barber. I went to Indiana Barber College. I cut hair for several years. I was a member of the Indiana National Guard. I went to work at Stout Field for the Indiana National Guard for several years. Left there in 1977 and went to Allison Transmissions, where I finished up my working career almost. Built transmissions for a little over 31 years. Had a great opportunity to go there, and a wonderful job to work and raise a family, and with the means that well, we all have that American dream for. And since my retirement, I took a couple years off, and then I became a mail courier at a local bank, home bank here in Martinsville, and they have several branches, and do that mail courier stuff for the bank, and very much enjoy it out in the public, going to businesses alike and around people. And speaking of people, I consider myself a people person. I was a basketball referee for 25 years, volleyball for 23. I got into umpiring baseball, my very first thing. Back even before I got married, I got my baseball license, and still do baseball. Kind of slowed down on the others, of course, but I love Little League baseball. I'm a volunteer Little League umpire, and boy, it's a thrill. It's still great to be around the kids and going over to Little League Diamond and working on the fields if they need help and all that. And other sports, I love sports, and I ran our church softball league here in Martinsville. It's still going on. I was a head guy for 32 years in running it. I was involved with our Little Arties. That's our boys basketball program for the kids here in Martinsville, and I was involved with it for right at 30 years also. So it's great to be involved in things. Great to be involved in your community where you live, and also outreach from beyond that. I'm a Gideon also, and when I say outreach beyond that, we go quite a few places, giving away Bibles, and I'm a Lions Club member, Martinsville Noon Lions Club. I was a JC years ago. That was a great organization for young men, and as I said, now a Lions Club, and well, I think I about hit it all.
Tell us why you're interested in running for this office then.
Why am I interested? Which leads to another thing that I do is I'm finished up a 4-year term, a member of the Martinsville School Board, and again, everything's about kids. my slogan when I ran for school board, it's all about the kids. And every decision you make, it's about making it for those kids in our school corporation, our 7 grade schools, our intermediate, our middle, and of course, our high school. And in the time in being on the school board and talking with teachers, my wife was a teacher's assistant for 20 years and always been around the school, and yes, through sports and her involvement with the schools that she worked at as a teacher's assistant, and knowing teachers, talking to teachers, and then being on the school board and seeing the great times. I mean, teachers are awesome. They are absolutely awesome. We're really finding that out during this coronavirus pandemic. Well, the teachers are getting the plans, and the parents are doing e-learning and all that through the computers. But yes, teachers are awesome, and I've attended many conferences through the School Board Association of Indiana, either regionally and or statewide, listening to school board members, listening to superintendents that attend these meetings, and the problems. Either it all comes back to financing. It seems like the support of public education, and also the support of our teachers. Our teachers, well, you look at the surrounding states around us, we have the lowest paid teachers out of our surrounding states. And you can look at many statistics on where they rank nationally, and I say they don't rank where they should rank nationally. And it's a concern. Are there other topics of discussion for being a representative in the state of Indiana? I believe, there's hundreds. And, I look at healthcare. I look substance abuse for adults and children. Yes, boy, our veterans. I'm an American Legion member, a member of our honor guard. And boy, we do those funerals for our veterans to pass on. But boy, still many, many veterans that are out there that, boy, if it's the minor little, and I shouldn't use the term minor, it's not a minor thing, it's a big thing. Just saying a thank you to a veteran. And boy, what a smile you can put on their faces sometimes. Homelessness, boy, the problem with homelessness, not just in adults, but also our children, the ones that couch hopping from home to home, and clean air, clean water. When you talk about homelessness and the children, we think of child abuse also. Of course, jobs, we have to have jobs. We need jobs. And then I look at our roads and our highways right now here in through the Bloomington area, the I-69, I believe it's been completed. Might be some little tad bit things still working on, but now they're into the Martinsville area. And of course, they're going to move on to Indianapolis, but it goes beyond our interstates. I mean, we have our roads, our highways, our bridges, and another thing, our farmers. Boy, our farmers. Boy, I think something that needs to be touched on are our farmers, and boy, they're going through some rough times. And but if you ask me what was my turning point on saying, boy, why would you want to be a House of Representative in District 60, a state representative? Representing the citizens in this district of right at 46,000 people. It's because of education and the love for education. It's our future. It starts in those classrooms, and boy, that's where our next doctors, our scientists, the next people that work in the garages as a mechanic. You learn everything. I don't know too many jobs that you can just go do without somebody showing you and training you. And boy, it starts with our teachers, and starts in our teachers and in our public schools.
Okay, great, thank you. The next question relates to the COVID-19 pandemic. What assistance do you think the state should provide to local businesses during this time?
Well, I know there's right now there's the local banks are working with businesses on its initial PPP, and boy, that's great assistance right there. And I know overwhelmingly the ones that get the assistance what a relief it has to be, so they can keep their doors open. Their doors may not be open at the present time, but they want to keep those doors open, and they want to keep their employees. And but the employees going through a tough time, the ones that are able to get a subsidy, or ones that are not able to get a subsidy of some sort. But the help just needs to be there. It has to be discussed. It has to be collaborated on in a meeting of both sides. I mean, that's where people have to step together, and you have to converse with one another. You have to listen. You have to talk, and you have to listen to those business owners and see what kind of help they do need. And I hope I answered your question. Our state needs to be involved in our businesses.
Yeah.
They're our future. Also, I don't think we can survive with a whole bunch of empty buildings.
Yeah. Well, keeping with the theme of sort of the COVID-19 fallout, as you know, the state legislature is moving into a budget year, so they're going to be evaluating the budget. As you look at potentially decreased revenues, where would you prioritize for funding cuts in the budget? And what parts of the budget do you think need more support, not less?
Well, a nice thing about Indiana is there is a surplus right now. How far will that surplus go? Well, it's like us opening our billfold and pulling $1 out and then another dollar out. They go pretty quick. Oh, gosh darn, boy. What would we cut back on? But that's I guess I just have to look at a little bit of everything and see what. Oh gosh, boy. Again, that's again people working together, and it's people working together and seeing what's out there, and no doubt talking to the department heads to if you want to use that term, see what strengths there are, what weaknesses there are, and you don't want the weaknesses to keep adding and adding and adding, and you can get a pretty big deep hole there. And so
okay.
I'm going to say through collaboration and people just working together and having a care and a love for our state. And I keep saying I'm with many other people. We're going to get through this. We live in a great country. We live in a great state. It's a state where there's a lot of job opportunities. I think we have a lot of quality jobs. We always look at those quantity jobs. Are the quantity jobs, can they help raise a family? I believe they have, and they probably will continue. But boy, we love those quality jobs. And
yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you.
The next question comes from one of our members, and they're asking, in light of decreased tax revenues due to COVID-19, would you consider legalizing marijuana? Why or why not?
Well, that is an absolute question that I hear out there. I really, honestly, in a time of this of not being able to talk to people, but still being able to talk to people and or over the phone. But as far as being a candidate running for a position as in the House of Representatives, as state representative, you can't get out and knock on doors like the old. But yes, that is a question. And boy, we are a state that's not legalized, and I guess my quick answer would be, without getting in a lot of discussion, I guess one thing I definitely have to do is talk to some people that are very knowledgeable in this field. I want to say I'm a good listener, and I want to say I can make good decisions, and a good decision comes after a lot of discussion, and there's a lot of very smart individuals out there with that. And in regard, also, and I think one of them is definitely the medical field. There's no doubt that in regards to that, how will that drug help people of illnesses? And I'm going to use that. I've been watching the replays of what's it like? Do you want to be a millionaire? And my final answer is, I'm after much discussion. I hope and pray the proper decision will be made on that situation. Will it bring money in? Oh yes, it will bring money in. We definitely know that. But is that the way this state wants to go? Again, that is where I think we need to listen to the people. Myself in District 60.
Okay, great. So in the past, we've seen some tension between the state legislature and some of the local municipalities, particularly Bloomington. What's your view of Indiana's Home Rule Act, and how do you determine when the state should step in and limit actions of local government?
Well, Bloomington's a great town, great city. I love to go to Bloomington. You know, right now we're hearing the president and saying turn stuff over to the local states, to the local governors, and now we have the leadership of the state and turning. I know I've heard people in this area here in Martinsville say, "Hey, let the mayors and the city council make the decisions." And in regards to Bloomington, and Bloomington, a big portion of Bloomington is in District 60. I believe the local government has a good handle on the city. So again, Mary, this is a topic that, yes, I've heard, but again, don't know a lot about, and I'm not ashamed to say that I'm not on the top of it. But again, more discussion in regards to my part, finding out more information, and you know, we have to have all steps of government, national, state, local, and so I thank you.
Sure. So in many ways, in Indiana, state legislators have limited influence. You know, it's a part-time legislature. A lot of the authority rests with the administrative branch, the executive branch. How do you plan to approach your work as a state legislator so that your constituents have a voice in state government?
Well, I have a slogan in running for this position: your voice at the State House. And you know, just this past Saturday, I was down in Unionville, and I was able to talk to some people, and we stayed our distance, and everybody was comfortable. Me personally, I wanted to make sure I wasn't overstepping somebody's rights and or feelings and all that. But in listening to a few topics that was brought up down there, you know, it's through listening to people. It's through listening to people and taking their thoughts, their ideas, their concerns. They're the ones that's going to pull that lever and say, Dave Rinehart or whoever they pick for this position as a state representative. And I think as a person, I need to stick by what I'm saying to people. I want to be your voice. Well, your voice is the one that I want to listen to on thoughts, ideas, suggestions on how to carry them forth to downtown Indianapolis.
Okay. Well, that concludes our questions. Are there any final thoughts you'd like to share?
Oh, final thoughts, boy, what a rough time it really is here in our state, in our community, and thankfully in Morgan County, the death toll is small, limited, but still it affects families. And just thoughts and prayers go out to people, and as they go through this. Boy, yes, I've been out. I've been out putting up signs and talking to very limited amount of people. My wife, she's been in the house. Maybe 3 times she's been out, maybe, but she had, and that was to see her mother. And but she, I think, but only 1 time to see her mother, and the other 2 times she was in the car with me, but hadn't been out. So she's been inside. So people have been inside, and boy, I think people are ready to get out. I hope we don't get out too soon on this virus. I think there's a reason our numbers are low. It's because people are taking this very serious and staying in. And summertime coming up. Everybody loves to be outside in the summertime. They love picnics. They love to go to the state parks, and they love to be with family and friends. And I love to be at the Little League Diamond. It's fun times. And just my thought is just everyone be safe. Yes. Get out and vote. It's a right that we have living in this great country, and I appreciate your time. I appreciate your group's time, for the chamber for putting this together, and the other groups that you're associated with, and I thank you very much. Anything you have to ask me?
I think that'll be it. It's about time to wrap up. So again, we would just like to remind folks that we've been talking with Dave Rinehart. He's a Republican. He's going to be running in the Republican Party primary as a candidate in the Indiana House of Representatives for District 60. One final thank you to our generous sponsors for Elect Connect: German American Bank, Bunger and Robertson, the City of Bloomington, Hoosier Energy, Smithville, and Indiana University. And finally, to echo what Dave said, please remember to vote in the June 2nd primary election. All registered voters are eligible this year to vote by mail, and we would encourage you to do so. You can find out more information at monroecountyvoters.us and on the Chamber's website, chamberbloomington.org/2020-primary-election. Thanks very much for joining us.